Welcome back to Market on Close. Time now for Options Corner. Shares of Western Digital have rallied to an all-time high today after the benchmark raised its price target on shares to $115 from $85. The stock has now rallied over 125% on the year and is up over 250% from its lows in April. With more on today's move and options activity, let's send things back to Chicago with Marley.
Thanks so much, Sam. I'm here with Rick Ducat, our lead market technician. Now, we're going to take a look at Western Digital, but as they're in the tech sector, Rick, can we just start out with a broader look at how tech is performing today on the whole?
It's a sector of extreme winners and losers, in my view here. And when we look at our chart here, we can see Western Digital and Seagate are the clear winners. This memory and storage space has been increasingly strong, just going from strong to even stronger here. Tech sector overall, our purple line here, about 24% during the past year. Then we have the laggards here. For the most part, software, Adobe down, 33%. That it's a rougher sector here, mostly propped up by Palantir, showing the outsized gains. But also, IT services like Gartner, for example, doing very poorly, and other semiconductors, even the semiconductor sector itself, not totally safe here. On semiconductor, not doing great. Other ones like Enphase that are more focused on solar and green energy, a lot of legislative risk, a lot of problems. Also, names that can be severely disrupted by AI going forward. So, as I said, extreme winners, extreme losers. Today, we're talking about the winners.
So focusing in on our big winner, on Western Digital, what's the driver behind this uptick that we're seeing in its chart today? Yeah,
so, it's been strong, as we said, overall here. This is a space that's pretty much dominated by the two names that we mentioned earlier, and also Toshiba, which doesn't have a symbol we can look at here. So kind of a picks and shovels play here. The world's getting increasingly digital with our AI revolution here, and, we want to store everything for the most part here. So the benchmark note today, we had a price target raise up to 115 from 85. They kept their buy rating. We also saw price target raises from Barclays, Citi, Morgan Stanley all earlier this month. The benchmark note was interesting to me, though. They mentioned that the 2025 hard drive shipment for the global shipments would be about 1,600 exabytes here. So an exabyte is 1 quintillion bytes. So that's an unimaginably large amount of data here. So 1 exabyte would be like 500 trillion pages of text. The internet, global daily traffic, hundreds of exabytes per day. So just some perspective on what these numbers all mean here. But now we can see pushing upward to the upside here for our chart, going from strong to even stronger, as we said. 99 was the last area. We formed a gap here. Below that, around 82 might be another area to be on the lookout for if we do start to slow down a little bit here.
As we look at Western Digital, I was looking for their next potential catalyst. We did get this analyst action. We've had, several bits of commentary on them, bullish commentary. They are moving up, haven't confirmed their earnings date, expected October. But, devoid of that, how is it looking in terms of options action? What kind of open interest are we seeing in them? And is it primarily calls, puts? What's our breakdown here?
Sure. So, just for starters here, to think a little bit more here about the range we might see for the coming, time frame approaching us here, we can see that for this chart, our lower boundary might be around here near 94. Our upper boundary might be here near about 108 based on our standard deviation channels. To go one step further then, we can also add our expected move for September 19th for this week's expiration, the monthly expiration here. That gives us a range of about 97 to 107 or so. Not too terribly far here, but our options activity, pretty much in line with those numbers here. The near term, the highest concentration of open interest for that monthly expiration is the 96 calls, and the 100 calls are much smaller here. But on the put side, 90 was a similar level that we would be keeping an eye on for that metric here. But most of these are these large quantities of short puts being sold here, so probably not very significant in terms of dollar amounts here, but a general range fairly tight here during these next 4 days.
And do we see any outliers for Western Digital? Because sometimes when you see these companies that have had, heavy movement on analyst action and things like that, you'll see some outlier plays as well.
Yeah, in terms of outlier trades today, there was one that caught my eye, plus 2,200 January 16th 80 strike puts at a 260 debit. Seems like it was probably a closing trade that was actually just opened yesterday based on that activity. So an opening trade to look at today, plus 2,500 October 3rd 3rd, 95 strike puts at a 160 average debit here. This was 2 sweeps done in 2 separate groups here. That's what it totaled out to. Was it the same person? We can't know for sure, but based on the activity and the quantities and everything else, seems like it probably was. So about a $400,000 debit paid here for this bearish play. 18 days to expiration. The break even is just about in line with the expected move for that series, which is just about a 9% plus or minus here. In this case, it will be 9% to the downside.
So the notable trades, puts. No notable call trades that we saw today on Western Digital.
Not today. No, I mean, that can happen. This is not the most actively traded name here. And these were by far the big quantities of trades that we saw here. So these were the standouts. In terms of the dollar amounts we talk about, maybe not the hugest, but this is what happened today. Any information is useful in this market.
Well, Wick, we appreciate you breaking down the options trading for us today on Western Digital.